Police were able to trace the articles of clothing to a fetish shop on Christopher Street that catered to the leather community.
Isn't someone who practices S&M already equating arousal with violence? He's just a step
SM. The correct terminology is SM, sadomasochism, not sado and masochism.
SM is primarily the exchange of power between a dominant and submissive. Pain and violence are just two types of currency within that exchange. There's also humiliation, fear, sometimes even tickling.
Tickled to death. Whole new meaning.
The fact that one of the victims wore a dog collar makes me think our guy likes to be in charge.
Well, due to the condition of the bodies, we have no evidence of how he killed or whether SM was even one of his MOs.
Who else would prey on guys like these? They were into the same stuff, and he gets off on going too far.
No, this isn't just a case of someone who occasionally crossed the line of consent. This is a practiced, organized killer. Dismembering and disposing of the bodies without witnesses, that takes planning and commitment.
But there's no denying his victim pool is specific to what gives him sexual pleasure.
No, but they're also low-hanging fruit for him.
I'll say.
He's accepted in their environment, and he knows how to lure them.
They actually want to be tied up.
So you're saying his victim selection is about opportunity?
I'm just saying that it would be interesting to find out how essential his sexual practices were to how he killed. And why. Was sadomasochism just a convenient way for Bateson to find his victim?
We've already been to Atlanta once. We've done the background work.
The Vice President's placing the highest priority on this. I don't want us to look like we're running a research project down there.
Absolutely not. We're there to get convictions.
All right, Ted, I'll call Wyman. Tell him we're sending the BSU instead of that third canine unit he wants. They better be house trained.
And on a short leash, you have my word.
That was...
Director Webster. The president doesn't want child murder lingering over his first 100 days, so he's throwing George Bush at this. The director wants to be sure the Bureau comes out smelling good to this administration.
And it came down to us or Lassie.
Essentially. Holden, I'd like you there as soon as possible. Bill, you can fly out Monday, right after the director's retreat. Webster's going out on a limb. He needs to understand who we are, have assurance on what we can do.
Yes, sir.
We're budgeted through the end, so pack accordingly.
They're following 17 cases. That could be a while.
If Webster's involved, he's going for closure. We want to be part of that. Go do what you do. But, as we've learned, our methods are not always going to be received with unbridled enthusiasm, so...
Play nice.
Play smart.
No, I'm bushed.
The prison tried me out. I was draining 2 bottles of vodka a day till I lost my job.
You were a radiology technician.
Until I was an usher in a porn theater. Now I'm sober, work out every day, and mostly they leave me unsupervised. Actually, I'd appreciate a little more discipline.
But he was your type.
No, not really. Usually I don't like swishes. They give us all a bad name. Addison was holding court at the bar. He could have left with anyone, but he stuck with me. He asked me if I wanted a joint. I wasn't squeamish, if that's what you're asking, but I wasn't a surgeon.
You did confess to a friend. You actually told him verbatim.
Looks like they've narrowed it down to half the city.
They're all over the map on this. It smells like desperation. I got a real lead last night. You should hear it.
Well, secondary enuresis is most...
Secondary what?
Enuresis. Bedwetting subsequent to successful toilet training. The most common cause is psychological trauma. Emotional regression can also be a marker for processing extreme distress. I'm prescribing a low dose of desmopressin for the bedwetting.
You want him to take a pill?
It's important he doesn't develop behaviors that place him in a regressed emotional state.
You just getting here? Cutting it close.
I wanted to clear off my desk before leaving town, sir.
Judge's plane took off late, so you get a little reprieve.
The judge?
Director Webster was the judge before his appointment. He prefers his judicial title, which in rules of protocol takes precedence. He is a man who appreciates pecking order.
Good to know.
And we really learn from someone like him, Agent?
We've also interviewed more cogent subjects.
Such as?
Would you rather tell me about whatever it is that you're burying your face in? I'm sure you had plenty of practice leading people down the garden path.
No, I should have seen it coming. I've been studying manipulators my whole career.
I'm not at liberty to discuss details, but my unit is here to focus on what we consider most probable.
But let's focus on manpower.
Chief, this kind of focus means recanvassing 18 abduction and dump sites, plus re-interviewing dozens of witnesses.
Gonna really stretch your manpower.
We'd use academy recruits to fill out the teams. Only way we'd be able to even half-ass it.
Of course. Mind if I run out your team?
I think I'll join the chief at the dump site.
Okay.
Elsie's first. That's the third person we talked to within 1 block of where this kid disappeared, and not one of them was interviewed.
I'm starting to think there's a lot that's dropped through the cracks.
Forensic show up yet?
We don't have a body retrieval unit. Recruits will collect any evidence.
Well, lucky he had a prior. Never would have traced the prints off those magazines.
Did we run his car?
White 1975 pickup truck.
No police type vehicle.
No, but utilitarian. You could keep a hunting kit without drawing suspicion.
We could surveil him.
If he smells us at all, he'll destroy evidence. We need to get warrants. We're only gonna get Slayton's ear for a minute.
These musicians are a credit to their community, to our city, and to the great state of Georgia.
It's gonna be a hard show.
How confident are we he's our perpetrator?
We won't know until we get in there.
Well, let's start working on him. The longer we keep him, the more likely someone will get wind of this.